All right, today we're diving into how AI is shaking up our schools and, more importantly, the fight to make sure every single student gets a fair shot. Let's get into it. For years, we've all been talking about the digital divide. But what if the whole problem has changed right under our noses? What if just having a laptop isn't the finish line anymore? What if it's barely even the start? And this really gets to the heart of it. The old divide was pretty straightforward. You either had a computer and Wi-Fi or you didn't. But today, that's just table stakes. The new digital divide, that's a skills gap. It's about who has AI literacy and who's left behind. So the solution isn't just throwing more devices at the problem. It's about a totally new kind of education, built on equity and ethics. This really frames the stakes, doesn't it? The idea here is that being able to navigate, use, and even create with technology isn't some extracurricular bonus anymore. It's being seen as a fundamental right for every kid, the new baseline for just participating in the world. So how do we actually meet a challenge this big? Well, let's zoom in on a grassroots initiative right in New York City that is tackling this thing head on. What's so amazing about Bridging Tomorrow is where it came from. This wasn't some top-down plan from a big corporation. Its roots go way back, but it really caught fire during the pandemic. It started with just two parents, Adriana and Keith DeCesare, who wanted to make screen time more active and engaging for their own kids. That little family project grew into an after-school program, and now it's blossomed into a full-on mission for the whole city. And this quote from the founders, it just says it all, right? It was never about just sticking kids in front of a screen. It was about turning technology into the exact opposite of a digital babysitter, a tool for real, guided, high-quality interaction. So what's the secret sauce here? What makes their programs so different? Well, it's not really about teaching kids how to use AI. It's about teaching them an entirely new way to think. Their framework is built on these three pillars. First up, first principles. They teach students how to take a huge, messy problem and break it down into its most basic, fundamental truths. Then comes chain of thought, where they learn to solve that problem piece by piece, building on their ideas one step at a time. And the final piece of the puzzle is meta-prompting, which is basically teaching kids to think about their own thinking, turning the AI into a true collaborator, not just a glorified search bar. It's a whole new mental toolkit. I just love this analogy. They want AI to feel like a helpful neighbor who just pops over to lend a hand. It's not some intimidating superbrain. The tech is supposed to fade into the background, letting the student's creativity and the human connection take center stage. But look, an idea this ambitious can't survive on passion alone, right? It needs real support to grow. So let's look at how Bridging Tomorrow is turning its vision into a movement, fueled by actual civic action. One key lifeline is an organization called Citizens NYC. They've been backing neighborhood projects forever, since 1975. And they offer these grants, up to $5,000, to help small, local ideas get off the ground. Now, $5,000 might not sound like a fortune, but for a new project, it can be everything. And you don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to this from a past grantee, Darnell Benoit. I was just a teacher with an idea. That first check paid for their first space, their first intern, their first computer. It's the spark that makes it all real. Okay. Now, the other funding strategy is even cooler and honestly way more democratic. It's called participatory budgeting. This is a real process where New Yorkers, and get this, anyone age 11 and up can participate, get to vote directly on how to spend millions of dollars from the city budget right in their own neighborhood. And if you're wondering what people actually vote for, just look at this list of recent winners. A brand new STEM room, a hydroponics lab for a public school, a library getting a total revamp into a media hub. Again and again, communities are choosing to invest in technology and education for their kids. A project like Bridging Tomorrow is a perfect fit for what people are already demanding. So let's zoom out for a second, because this story isn't just about one project in New York. It plugs directly into this huge global conversation we're all having about what the future of learning should even look like. And there's some really powerful data here. Don't worry about deciphering the whole chart. The key takeaway is this.
A study from a major online school found that when students used AI for personalized learning, their academic performance shot up by 15 to 20%. So when it's done right, this stuff really, really works.
But, and this is a huge but, there are two completely different ways to use this technology. On one side, you've got techno-solutionism, this flawed idea that you can just throw technology at a deep social problem and expect it to work like a magic bullet. That usually fails, and it can even make inequality worse. The other path, the one Bridging Tomorrow is on, is a socio-technical approach. It's about seeing technology as part of a bigger, human, social, and ethical picture.
And that really is the Bridging Tomorrow difference. It's not a tech-first approach. It's a relationships-first approach. It's designed to foster creativity and critical thinking. It prioritizes emotional well-being and making sure kids feel safe. It's all about keeping humans in the driver's seat, with AI as a tool to help close that equity gap, not make it wider. So we're left with this enormous question, one that pretty much everyone in education and tech is trying to figure out. What would it actually take for AI to help us bring a quality education to every single child? But as we've seen, community projects like Bridging Tomorrow, well, they aren't just waiting around for an answer. They're out there building one from the ground up.